Yo! Welcome to another episode of Gaming with Mr. C, where today you better be grabbing your scuba gear because we're going to be breaking down ManEater.
How does this thing work?
Gaming with Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C. And thanks to Tripwire Games, we finally get to see what it's like to live the day in the life of a shark. Man, these things are sandy. Because I always felt that sharks got a bad rap due to Hollywood, and this was, I thought, the game that was going to finally change that. Unfortunately, this isn't in that soapbox, but let's go ahead and jump into the deep blue beyond and see what I thought of ManEater. So the story of this game... Why is there so much sand? Look at all this sand, it's everywhere. I feel like this is... Alright guys, so the story of ManEater basically starts you off being hunted by a shark hunter named Scaly Pete. Now this is a shark hunter with some lineage, as your mother killed his father, and he is hunting your mother. He catches her and kills her, and then that's when he finds out that she was pregnant with you. He marks you so he can hunt you later, and as he does, you bite his hand off. Well, this really isn't the game to paint sharks in a good light. However, that's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Shark just want to do one thing. That's kill you, eat you, and you are. What I do, I consider a sacred honor. Kill them all if I could. Too bad, ain't but 24 hours to a day.
Shark spotted in Fontic Bayou. Several deaths reported. Shark can be identified.
So guys, from a graphic standpoint, this game actually intrigued me because the worlds and environments are actually pretty well detailed. As a matter of fact, there's about 7 different bodies of water that you travel through as the ManEater, and they're all different, not just in size, but by the murkiness of the water, the clearness of the water, the aquatic life. And the thing that actually impressed me the most about this game is going from underwater to above water was seamless. I actually at one point tracked a car on the highway just to see that if I went underwater and back up, if that car would stay standing still, static if you will, or reset itself. But upon going under the water and back up, the car had moved, showing me that it's one large living, breathing world, which is quite impressive for a game of this jovialness, if you will. Not only that, the 7 Seas, once the game loads, it really doesn't load again. Now, if I was traveling at high rates of speed from the deep blue to the swamp area, the load screen might flash up, but it's like that. You would almost miss it sometimes. So graphically, I was never overwhelmed with the graphics, but never at one point in the game was I like, ugh, to these graphics. My only complaint, honestly, would be the human beings. They just weren't very detailed. They were kind of cartoonish. But as far as the cutscene goes with you and Scaly Pete, I was actually kind of impressed with it. So overall, no complaints in the graphics. So guys, from a control standpoint, I was actually never upset with the controls. You would pretty much move around as this mammoth beast of a shark using the analog sticks. You got the old chomper right here on the old trigger, and you can actually go above or shoot up out of the water with the A button and X to submerge yourself. Really, the only 2 complaints I ever had from the controls, because they were pretty responsive and pretty quick to learn how to use. But my only 2 complaints is as you kind of progress and evolve your water beast here, your shark, when you would press the A button to kind of jump, you were so powerful that it was just kind of like you were shooting up out of the water like a testing a rocket with Elon Musk. It was a little crazy at times. The only other, I guess, complaint I would have is when you're going against an orca or whale or any kind of other creature, really. I'm not talking about Willie here. We would never attack Willie. Okay? You got that? United Kids knows what I'm talking about. Hands up. Hands up. Whales. But when you were trying to attack them, it was kind of hard to kind of maneuver back and forth. Kind of like a dog battle in space, in the sky, you know, Blazing Angels on the 360. If you're in a good old-fashioned dog fight with some airplanes, it was kind of like, you know, that awkward maneuvering to try to catch each other. But other than that, man, I really didn't have a lot of complaints. And I know it sounds like I'm complaining about it, but I really actually enjoyed the controls, and it was pretty wild to be this massive shark. I mean, how often do you get to play as something in the water, let alone a shark? I mean, you have Feeding Frenzy, you had the original Nintendo Jaws game. What else did you have? Echo the Dolphin? But you're not a shark, man. Chomp, chomp. So guys, finally we have gameplay, and this is where it's really hard for me because this game is so different. It's so satirical. Matter of fact, it's got Chris Parnell who does the narration. Yeah, Lazy Sunday. That Chris Parnell from 30 Rock. And everything he says is kind of done satirically, jokingly about our culture and everything that's going on in the game. But I don't want you to get that misconstrued, because the game still takes being a game very seriously. The graphics, the controls, the story, it's all there, and it's all very solid. This just isn't about jokes. They're there, though, which is great. If you just wanted to do the story, it's not going to blow your mind. You're looking at about 6 to 8 hours. But if you do all the side stuff, which I did, and I think you would want to as well, because the side stuff is actually a lot of fun, and it kind of, you almost want to do it. It's going to tack on an extra 4 hours, so you're looking at about a 12-hour game. Now keep in mind, this game is only $40, brand new. And it has the 4K and all that jazz. But, the side stuff is, like I said, where I really had fun with it. It has things like these landmarks, these little signs that you break in. Chris Parnell tells you something funny about it. Like, you're going to find a lot of Easter eggs, like the pineapple from Under the Sea, SpongeBob is there. Titanic is there. You're going to have different areas where you're going to fight the baddest alligator in that swamp, or the baddest sperm whale in the deep sea. They're apex predators. You're going to have parts where you're going to try to find these little treasure chests that have nutrients to help you upgrade in them. You're going to have to go to a certain area and eat 10 human beings. And all that stuff is fun and kind of keeps you coming back. The only one that I really didn't like was the infantry, where you kind of have to kill these shark hunters, and a mini boss comes out and you defeat him. There's 10 of them. I was like over it after 5. But again, all the other side stuff was so good, I never minded. Matter of fact, one of my favorite parts of the game is you have these 7 areas, and you kind of start off as a baby shark. And you're in the swamp, and you feel so small, and these alligators are just whooping you up, man. But as you evolve from a baby shark to a teen shark, elder shark, mega shark, you become this massive force, and you go back to the swamp. Not only do you feel badass, but you chomp up that gator with like 2 chomps. And it's just so awesome to finally like have a game like that where not everybody levels with you. So I really enjoyed it. So guys, on my final thoughts, in a world we're living in with so much doom and gloom, it was finally nice to play a game that wasn't too serious, that didn't take itself too serious. Matter of fact, there's so much satirical content here, but the game also is very serious as far as the way it took a game. It actually at times thought I was playing a circus game, because it walked that tightrope so well. I really enjoyed myself playing this game. And honestly, if they dropped a sequel this coming summer, I wouldn't even look up anything. I would just go buy it, because I enjoyed myself that much. So Mr. C gives ManEater an 8 out of 10. Gaming with Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C.